That's it for us tonight. Thanks so much for watching. Greg Gutfeld is next.
Oh my God. Yes. If there's one thing you can say for sure about this year, it's that it's almost over. And like a dad stuffing his station wagon for a family picnic that no one wants to go to, Donald Trump packed a lot into 2017. 2017 is how I look when I put on my leather crop top. Too much flesh, not enough fabric. But love him or hate him, no one has done so much in so little time and driven so many critics nuts. He drives more people crazy than synthetic pot. It's true. So recap. With tape. First, there was foreign policy. A lot happened, and it was good.
The United States will withdraw from the Paris Climate Accord.
North Korea best not make any more threats to the United States. They will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen.
The people that we're going against, they don't wear uniforms. They're sneaky, dirty rats.
He wins a special unicorn for that. Now, on the domestic front, more of a mixed bag.
We are cracking down on the sanctuary cities that shield criminal aliens, finally. We are building a wall on the southern border.
The unemployment rate is at a almost 17-year low. The stock market is soaring to record levels. We're not getting the job done. And I'm not going to blame myself, I'll be honest. They are not getting the job done. We've had health care approved, and then you had a surprise vote by John McCain.
Oh, come on. And when things weren't going well, Trump does what we all do. He went home for a little love.
He's been all over television saying the best things, and I see him standing. And didn't you get here like at 4 in the morning? Say a couple of words to this. You were there at the start. You've been there every single day since, and I will never forget, believe me. I'm here this evening to cut through the fake news filter. Is there any place that's more fun, more exciting, and safer than a Trump rally?
All right, all right. And as a noted germaphobe, we must credit Trump. He still shook hands. A lot. Lots of handshaking. Did you see all the handshaking?
Please look at the camera in 3, 2, 1.
Thank you, everybody.
Some people came and some people went. Most people came and went.
Newly hired White House Communications Director Anthony Scaramucci is leaving the job he was given just 10 days ago.
President Trump needs help. It's the reason I left the White House.
We had a good talk yesterday. I resigned. He accepted it.
I just think it was in the best interest of our communications department, of our press organization, to not have too many cooks in the kitchen.
Good news is they're all living together. In a bed and breakfast in Vermont. Yep, Donald Trump packed more into a year than most leaders do in 8. At times it felt like you were at a rock festival where 3 bands are playing at once. And yet at the end of the night, only one band is standing, and it's Trump. He's the Jethro Tull of politicians. Still around, but doing the classics while we're high on synthetic pot. And like I always say, whenever he ticks you off, consider the alternative.
Now, having said all this, why aren't I 50 points ahead, you might ask?
Can't help themselves. Now that makes for a happy Thanksgiving.
Nice one, man.
Oh, I guess I shall introduce our guest. He's so tough he moisturizes with motor oil. Retired Special Forces Master Sergeant Terry Shepard. He's the only Baldwin on my Christmas card list. He's starring in the RT Network series, The Gap. It's awesome. Great American Pilgrimage, that's the full name. Stephen Baldwin. She's funny, yet seldom sunny. National Review reporter Kat Timpf. And he puts a beach umbrella in his cocktails. Former bodyguard, massive sidekick, Tyrus. Terry, you saw everything. What's your take on it? What's your overall feeling when you look back?
A couple months before the election, I was on here. It was a great time. I actually called the election. We predicted it. It was fun.
Yeah.
Here's what I just want to say. I forgot a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
And I would say, right? I would
because
say
we were all drunk.
Because we were mostly drunk and passed out. But here's what I would say. I mean, whether you like Trump or not, whether you like Donald Trump or not, I want the never Trumper people to remember this. It is possible to roll your eyes when he says and tweets dumb things, which is quite frequent. Mm-hmm. It's also possible to cheer and be excited when he does stuff that we elected him to do. Mm-hmm. It's a fun game, Never Trumpers. Try it at home. You'll actually be you'll be a happier person. And I just think, as a military guy, the foreign policy stuff for me, I retired a year ago from Special Forces. Finally, we got a guy in the office who understands that talk is great, but you have to have the chainmail fist behind it. Yeah. Finally, our enemies, for good or bad, are afraid of us. Yeah. And that has to happen.
All right, Stephen. You were also pretty much ahead of the curve on this guy, and there are some ups and there's some downs. Yeah. Give me your sense of all this?
Well, I just want to start with Sean Spicer. Who? That's how fast everything's going. Yeah. And I said it with a guy named Don on that other three-lettered network back in July.
Right.
And boy, did he do a 180.
Yeah.
But that's cool. I basically said, when on the street you started hearing people kind of go, I don't trust these other politicians. Maybe it's time for a guy like Trump. That was in July of last year, and I said, I just have a feeling there's a little under the groundswell happening on the street, connectivity, and I'm not.
But not in your family.
Well, let's just say it's a unique situation to be in.
Thanksgiving there must be awesome, by the way.
But because I look at the Never Trumpers and I look at the people who just keep, regurgitating,
nonstop,
untruth. I look at them as like those that drank the Kool-Aid or the punch, right? So, two of my brothers are kind of up in the administration of creating the punch, so to speak. But that's cool. What? There's nothing I can do about that because Mr. Trump's the president, and I'm cool with it.
Yeah. So, Kat, do you think politics is now forever changed because of him? I don't see how it can go back to normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think so.
Yeah.
I was honestly hoping after he was elected that things would get a little weirder, though. I thought they weren't weird.
What do you mean weirder? Like, they're pretty weird, aren't they?
I mean, I just feel like he does whatever he wants. I would have thought he had some stranger desires, but he just likes McDonald's and candy.
But let's not add any more to the dossier than necessary, please.
I mean, a little weirder, like repealing and placing Obamacare would have been a little wild.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Okay.
There's some things that didn't happen. I'm worried about the tax plan. I don't know what's going on there. I want simplification. This doesn't sound simple to me. Tyrus, what do you think? I think that you have a pretty keen. You see through the confirmation bias on both sides.
Yeah, I have goggles. I see right through it. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. It's a gift. It's a mutant power. I wanted to fly, but instead I can see. For me personally, he has financially been great for me. Like, everyone's watching to see what we're talking about. Like, he should get gift cards from Don Lemon and Cooper and Matt. Where would Madden be without him?
Yeah.
I mean, their ratings are up, like, for media.
Even people are watching Morning Joe,
the best
and that's
game.
unwatchable.
Yeah. It's the best game in town. The NFL's like, what do we got to do? We're going to have to run pictures of Trump's tweet at halftime or during the game. First and 20, Trump tweets this, and they'll get their ratings back. I mean, it's been, I think, and the one thing he does that a lot of people don't like it, but he points you out when you don't play the game like you're supposed to. Mm-hmm. And that brings politics in our homes. We now know when a vote goes down, who didn't do it. So before,
Yeah.
it was like, oh, this didn't get passed. And it was like, well, I guess, it's on the president. I was like, no, Corker didn't vote.
Yeah, it's true.
McCain did.
Singles him out.
And he did it. And then people are like, can I vote that guy out?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's his ass then. So we now know it's transparent, as you always like to say, transparent. He has brought politics in your home. It's almost a board game for the whole family to play now. It's like we all know we're all little senators and guys now. We all can play the game. We all can run now because we see for what it is. I think it's
we're learning about so many things that we didn't learn about because of him, and it's true. It's now kind of fun. I mean, people didn't even know about the different branches of government. I didn't know there were branches.
Well, to Tyrus's point too, I mean, I think one good thing, I mean, whether you like him or not, he's certainly exposed a lot of stuff that I think was just always under the radar, i.e., if you're a conservative person, constitutional conservative, I don't care about your faith, but if you're a conservative, the disdain that the left has for you has been really, really amplified.
Yeah.
You now see who hates you. And he's also kind of busted the career politicians on the right as well.
Yeah.
Who were very happy making money, kind of playing the game and doing all that kind of stuff. He's the dude's like a human hand grenade, and he's really shaking it up. I wish he wouldn't say some of the things he says, but man, I'm a big fan of damage.
All right, we're going to talk more. Still to come, is life a little sweeter because the president's a tweeter? That's next. He took a lot of heat for continuing to tweet. Since he was sworn in as president, Donald Trump has tweeted 137 million times. I kept track. And he'll tweet about everything. The economy, the fake news, the military, Kim Jong-un, the deplorables. And he's not a 9-to-5 tweeter. The man tweets early and often. Remember that Saturday morning you woke up and saw Trump's tweet that Obama had wiretapped him? The news chewed on it like Violet from Willy Wonka. Look at that. That's a great picture. What does this mean? What do you make of this? Could this have happened? What proof does he have? There were no answers. The media just filled up on speculation until it was ready to burst. One tweet from Trump can change the national discussion and make everyone nuts. We now check in with the left after 1 year of Trump tweets. This tweeting, do you think the world would have been different without it? Do you like this extra frosting on the presidency?
Well, I like the extra freedom frosting that comes with this president's ability to speak his mind from his heart, from his brain, from his wherever else he'd like to tweet from.
Right. I'm gonna patent freedom frosting. There'll be a little jar, and you put it on your patriotic.
Yeah, freedom frosting.
Pastry. Thank you.
On your croissant.
That's your croissant.
It's what I do.
But you know what he's kind of saying, Terry? What Stephen is saying, but I'm going to say it in a better way.
Yeah.
He found.
He doesn't mean that.
Yeah, he found.
He does.
He found the.
Thank you, Alec.
Thank you. Thank you, Alec.
Nice.
At least he didn't call me Billy. All right. Because at least people know who Alec is.
Oh, there's no reason to be that way. What's wrong with him?
Billy it's going to be a rough Thanksgiving, people.
Billy Baldwin went after me on Twitter. He just okay. Erase the Baldwin family from my mind. The key is, I think Twitter is the carpool lane for America that allowed Trump to speed past the media glut at the toll booth. So all the media is there, and he got in the carpool lane. He goes, see you later, and then got to the American.
That's an excellent. And while he was doing that, he threw out a bag of McDonald's trash.
Yes.
I went like, yeah, suck it. So you're right. The world's different. You talked about if politics is going to be different. Well, the world's different, right? And the fact that you can wake up and this cat, you almost feel like you're talking to him.
Yeah.
I think. I do wish I wish you would play a few more things closer to the vest.
Yeah.
But like I said, we were talking about this before. I'm having more fun than I probably should.
That's true. You can't. That's the thing, Tyrus. With fun comes a price.
Yes.
You can't play it safe and have fun.
Well,
Go with
Twitter is. Oh, I'm going to.
Go with it.
Twitter is his inner monologue.
Yes.
That's the way I look at it. His inner monologue. The thoughts in his head that he shouldn't probably say, he just spits it. And I gotta be honest, I'm envious. I wish I had the job security to spit what I wanted to say on Twitter. I'm gonna be honest with you.
That's funny, dude.
Whether he's wrong or right, sometimes I would like to get on Twitter and even if it's 3 in the morning, and you know what? I didn't like the way that TV show ended. So guess what? Hashtag Law and Order. You're terrible. I hate you. Bad acting. Sad. It's great. I mean, like I said, sometimes he says stuff, and you're like, damn. But there's a method to his madness. Every time he says them, we're all informed.
Yeah, that's true. He's the most transparent presidential mind in the history of the world, I believe, with no evidence to back that up, Kat. But do I need evidence? You are a semi-professional tweeter.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yes. Should he keep tweeting or hang it up?
I want this to get weirder too. I want selfies in a pirate costume, like for no reason. Hashtag Man Crush Monday, me, like stuff like that. Why not? It's harmless compared to some of the Kim Jong-un stuff. But think about what if Kim Jong-un himself had Twitter. Mm-hmm. Neither of them, we would be very safe because neither of them would ever get anything done.
No, they
would just tweet at each other all day long.
Exactly. Imagine them on Instagram.
Yeah.
The kind of thing.
You're fat on all of his pictures.
Yeah, exactly. Stephen, I've diagnosed the weird double punch of his tweets. So the first is you groan. Usually when the tweet comes out, you groan, and then you laugh. It's like his tweets are like, do you remember Pop Rocks? You put them in your mouth, you go, I don't understand this, and all of a sudden be like, brrr. His tweets are like Pop Rocks. You get them on your tongue, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is fun. No?
Well, for me, there's no groan, homie. It's just like I'm a skydiver.
I just groaned when you said homie, though, a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, she did.
Well, you don't feel that way about Greg?
It's okay. Yeah.
She's like, oh my gosh, there isn't anything.
Keep going.
So I think that I'm a skydiver. So I don't think normal.
Right.
And me too. When I say that, I mean when Pop Rocks first went in my mouth, I was like, I think I'm dying, but it was okay.
Yeah.
I was cool with it.
Yeah. So you just did. At first I go like, oh, what's he doing? And then I go, ha 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 ha. But usually when I see the response of everybody else.
What's a little annoying, and I've already let this go too, is that we're talking about how the sort of the fun aspect of this. The people who are just have invested, maybe with their egos too, of the never Trump thing. Look, the left is never gonna. We got it. They're gone.
Yeah.
They're gonna rail. But the people who are, we could talk about this in a kind of a fun way, and we can groan or we can go but. We can still appreciate it.
Yeah.
And,
we're going to get to that.
I envy it.
We're going to talk about this in the next segment.
Okay.
An anti-Trump hotel is set to open in D.C. And in future news, an anti-Trump hotel is set to close in D.C. It's a place to bunk if you hate Trump. Almost a rhyme. I speak of the world's first anti-Trump hotel, which will open in Washington this spring, D.C. The founder of the Eaton Workshop Hotel says the establishment will be focused on liberal activism and incorporate the liberal philosophy into every aspect of the guest experience. For example, the lobby will show footage of the 2012 and 2016 elections, posing the question, how did our country get where it is today? The minibar will contain an activist toolkit with info on how to contact your Congress member. What, no Toblerone? Screw you. And Kathy Griffin will bring your bags to your room. She needs a job. She needs a job.
Is that real?
No. The hotel also plans to host free public talks and lectures built around liberal ideas. I believe we have tape of the first rehearsal. All right, Tyrus, is this more of the kind of separatism we're going to find? People don't want to be around people that piss them off?
I think this could inspire a lot of things. You could end up with the Nazis Inn and Suites hotel right next to it. You could have ISIS, and even ISIS bed and breakfast. I mean, if this happened during the Obama administration, I would be outraged. This would be on so many levels to preach hate and to preach separate and all those things they're against. To a building that is basically designed to echo, we hate our president, we hate Donald Trump because we didn't probably vote in the first place. And so I think it's shameful, and it will go belly up. And this will be the same group that will be upset over marching, over Confederate flags, stuff like that. But they're doing the same thing. It's you're building a hotel. It's like if I build a hotel, it was like big guys only. Sorry, Greg. Sorry,
By
Greg.
the way,
Nope. Sorry, little fella. You gotta go.
Unnecessary to use physical comedy at this point. By the way, there is a hotel for big guys. It's downtown. But anyway,
See, you took my joke.
It's a different place. Kat?
Yeah. Yes, Greg.
I kind of like this idea because then I know the people that I want to avoid are at that hotel.
Right. Well, you know, it's great because what everyone does when they pick a hotel is they do a lot of in-depth research about the owner's political views. And just, no, nobody does this. I've stayed in some motels where one look at those owners, I knew that I was not going to approve of what they were going to do with the money I was going to pay to stay there. But it doesn't bother me because who cares? When you're in a hotel, you're there because you want to be left alone.
Exactly. Unless you make phone calls from that motel room.
Unless.
All right, Stephen, good idea, bad idea? Hotel.
Well, I think probably these kinds of folks are anticipating in the future that a whole lot of their revenue streams are going to start to erode. So they better brand as best they can. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hotels Tonight has an app. And I think, what do you say? You and I will partner up on Hate Hotels Tonight. Like, let's get an app.
Sleep with people who hate like you.
Yes.
That'll be great.
There you go.
Everyone already does that.
But not as a group.
Nicely done.
Sometimes. Hey, Terry.
Hey, what's going on?
Can you imagine if you wandered in there by accident?
I would love
And you
it.
didn't know?
I'd be like, we're all cool, right?
Yeah.
I'd back out really slowly.
No, it'd be great if you actually booked a room and didn't know. Like you just came in at the wrong time.
And like Kat, I'd be like, it'd be funny to see people learning about activism.
Yeah.
All I would want to know is that Donald Trump would show up and goes, there's a lot of gold. It's classy, believe me.
They'd be slipping in anti-fracking brochures under your door. Like you'd be going, no, I want the breakfast menu.
And I'd be slipping things back that would scare me.
So anyway, I don't know. I think it's like
capitalism. If it works, it works.
It's capitalism. Exactly. You know what? It's true. There are hotels they're like outdoor. Yes, sir.
Who's the kid with the secret cameras and all that? James, what's his name? He's got to get a room at that hotel, bro.
O'Keefe.
Oh, O'Keefe.
O'Keefe's got to go check in right away.
I was thinking James Bond.
James.
A little kid. I don't know. That might be illegal to put cameras in hotels. At least that's what the authorities told me after that brief summer stint at Howard Johnson's.
Never convicted.
Never convicted.
Never convicted.
Up next, a Greg Gutfeld Show exclusive interview with me, Greg Gutfeld. Stick around. Hi. When a group of 7th graders were asked who they wanted to interview, they could have chosen anyone. And yet, they chose me. Take that, Tucker. Yeah, clap all you want. They're young reporters for Kids Day. That's the section of New York Newsday that's for kids and written by kids. So I spoke to Frederick, Alex, John, and Harrison, 4 exceptionally intelligent young people with impeccable taste, I might add. All right, guys, you got some questions for me? Who's first?
So I'm a big fan of Prager University videos.
You are?
Yeah, and I saw your video about why the right is right.
Mm-hmm.
And how did you first become involved with Prager University?
You know, that is none of your business. How dare you bring that up? No, actually, Dennis Prager, I'm a big fan of Dennis Prager, and I used to watch those videos too. How old are you?
I'm 11 years old.
And you're already watching Prager videos? Fantastic. Do you watch The Five?
I do, yeah.
Would you say it's your favorite show?
Yes, by far.
By far. Who would you say is your favorite person on that show?
Well, you.
Thank you. All right, next question.
Were you interested in politics at my age?
How old are you?
I'm 12.
Yes, I was, a little bit. Because when I was 12, that was 1976. So, around 1973, around there, we had Nixon. It was a big deal. He had to resign, Watergate. So you had to know that stuff, which is kind of like what you're going through now, because you're in the era of Trump, which is way more interesting than any era ever. You're watching basically the Godzilla of politics.
What do you do before a show? Do you check your teeth, hair, or zipper?
Yes, I did. All three at once, actually.
Yeah.
You know what I do is I get makeup. A lot of people, I am naturally handsome, but the makeup just hides a lot of the scars that I got in college. I have notes. I take notes about what I'm going to say. It's always good to be prepared for your show, you know? And then, kind of just relax a little bit. I have a cup of tea, which I find is important. But the most thing is to be prepared. I do a monologue, so I rehearse. And then I help out the other co-hosts. A lot of the co-hosts on The Five aren't very good. They usually come in, they're unprepared, they're sloppy. I'm like the kid in class that helps the other kids out. Like Dana is terrible. Dana Perino sits there, so I often help her out because she needs probably more help than anybody on the show. Sad, really, when you think about it. Anyway.
Are you ever concerned that your sources are inaccurate and could ruin someone's reputation?
I would if I had sources, but I don't have any sources. The only source I have is my brain. You have to understand, on The Five, all I am doing is what you guys do in class. Do you guys have homeroom yet?
Yeah.
So, when homeroom isn't really a class, you kind of like sit there and then you talk to your friends and you make jokes and maybe you make fun of your friend. That's what I do on The Five.
So what do you think about the fact that in many colleges these days, students are playing with Play-Doh rather than actually learning about Play-Doh?
Nicely done. A play on words, or a play-toe on words, huh?
Oh.
There you go. We'll be right back. Practice saying we'll be right back and you'll be a star. It's a good point. The kids these days seem frightened of different opinions. They need safe spaces. They don't like it when there's speakers from other perspectives on their campuses. So you have this safe space movement. And Play-Doh is a good symbolic tool because they're like children who play with toys. This is a good question.
And what was it like going to school at UC Berkeley as a conservative, or were you more liberal back then? And if so, what event caused a change of heart?
That's a good question. I was probably apolitical. I was a liberal in high school because it was easy. Being a liberal is like being in high school because you don't have any concept of paying taxes and you think emotionally. When you're in high school, you think emotionally. Liberals tend to think emotionally. So it was easy to be liberal. When I got to Berkeley and I was surrounded by nothing but leftists and liberals, I realized that was the end game, and it's kind of scared me. And what changed my mind was actually going outside and reading stuff that wasn't in my classroom curriculum. So I was reading National Review, conservative magazines, and that's what and American Spectator, and I started reading conservative books.
I noticed earlier you said you like to help out your co-hosts.
I do.
Have you ever pranked your coworkers?
I consider my entire life a prank. I am put on this planet to annoy people. So it's like actually the only time I prank people is when I'm not doing anything, because then they're really worried. Like if I haven't done anything bad, they think I'm up to something worse.
Do you think of yourself as a comedian or a journalist? And does your wife think you're funny?
Man, that's a good question. My wife thinks I'm funny when other people are around. But when no one's around, she'll say, that's not funny. She'll be polite, but then she'll be the toughest audience when we're alone. I don't think of myself as a comedian because I was a journalist and a magazine editor. Comedians take risks in the sense that they get up in front of an audience and tell jokes. I don't do that. I think that's a pretty gutsy thing to do. So I would never say I was a comedian. And I would say I'm a writer. So I write. A journalist, you hit the pavement, you interview people. I really don't do that. I'm a writer, and I am somebody who's just has obnoxious opinions that I like to spit out every now and again. And I'm very lucky that I have a job that allows me to do this, although it took a while to get here.
So I hope to someday have a career in politics.
Really?
Yeah.
You want to get in politics? So, all right, where do you want to start? You want to start as president?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so you're just going to wait until what age do you think you'll be running for president?
Maybe like early 40s.
Early 40s?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I could see that happening.
I noticed in the 5 that your unicorn mug is broken, the horn.
That is true.
Who broke it, or why did it break?
Well, it's because the horn is very small, it's easily broken. We fired that person. She actually sent, we took all of her belongings, put it in a box, sent her out on the street, never saw her again. But I think that was the right decision, correct?
Yeah, that definitely was.
So I see that, I'm glad you think so. Did you bring a new?
Yes, this
Wow.
is for you.
Wow, interesting.
And with that, we have this.
Ooh.
It's a button.
Ooh, a unicorn button.
Press it.
It's a unicorn wishes.
You're not weird. You're just a unicorn.
That is so true. Though I am weird and a unicorn. I'm not normally allowed to accept gifts from journalists, but I'll take these because I love unicorns. That's great. You know what? I got you guys candy bars. See, you guys got me a unicorn stuff. I went to the drugstore next door and I got you guys candy bars. Yeah. See, I just bribed the journalists.
Also,
See, that was a
candy
trick.
Bars,
Oh, what'd you get me?
I got you a candy bar.
Really?
So I got a Snickers.
Yes.
You know how they say all the words on the back?
Yeah.
And for you, I got you a sarcastic.
Oh, wow.
Snickers bar.
That's great. Sarcastic.
And I got some other ones for other members of the 5
Oh,
who think should deserve them.
Yes. I don't think they do, but I'll give it to them anyway.
So I gave you some you can choose from to give them to.
All right. Oh, let me see. Okay. Oddball, Jesse. Jesse, oddball. Princess. It's either Kimberly or Dana.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. Klutz. I don't know what to say. Maybe. Well, I'm trying to think who's tripped late. I'm actually more of a klutz. Cray Cray. That's Kimberly. Confused, obviously Juan, right? Juan is confused. Thank you, guys. Excellent. Well, that was wonderful. Don't go anywhere. Viewers asked us some hard-hitting questions, especially you, Janice from Cleveland. We'll answer some next. And now we will attempt something that's never been done in the history of TV, to my knowledge anyway. Answer viewer mail, huh? Translation, the guy who usually writes this part of the show didn't show up today. Carl, you're fired. Merry Christmas. All right, to the questions. By the way, these are directed to everyone, including myself. Our first one comes from Susan. She asks, what is the most annoying habit? The most annoying habit that other people have? Tyrus?
I hate obvious questions. I hate it. Hey, you got a hat on there? Yeah. Hey, you tall? No. Like, I hate it's. I guess it's some kind of nervous reaction I have to try to start a conversation with me.
Right.
But the obvious, hey, nice shoes you got there. Well, I'm not barefoot, dog. What do you want to talk about? Just get to the damn point. I hate obvious questions.
Wow, I enjoy obvious over complex questions. I don't want anybody to ask me something on the bus that's really complicated, like, I have this pain in my lower intestine. Kat?
People not liking me. It's so annoying. Is there anything more annoying than someone not liking you?
What if somebody likes you so much they stalk you?
Ooh.
There you go. There's a downside to everything, Stephen. Annoying habits.
I wouldn't know anything about people not liking me. I think, it's kind of, and now I just go with it because they go, hey, what's up? You were great in Backdraft. And I go, thanks. And then they go, yeah, and now which one are, and you and, oh, you're the one, oh, right. And now I just go, yeah, my Trump impersonation's great, thanks. Good to see you.
Terry?
I have no answer for this. Well, we're talking about questions and stuff. When you ask somebody a question and they repeat it back to you, so what do you think is it? What do I think? Nah, come on, just answer the question.
No.
That one really annoys me. I don't really have any annoyance.
I think that I used to do that on TV when I did VH1. They'd ask you about Paris Hilton.
And then you'd have to.
And I go, Paris Hilton, what's up with that? And that would guarantee I would be on the show. She left her dog in the closet? What's up with that? And then I'd always be in every episode because they needed to open the show and end the show with somebody repeating it. Second question. I like this one. Also from a Susan. Maybe it's the same Susan. Who knows? Does a person's happiness level depend mostly on the good or bad things that have happened to that person or on something else? Stephen?
Praise the Lord, Greg.
I knew you were going there.
Yeah, no, listen, it's tough times. One of the reasons I wanted President Trump to win was, he was going to boost the economy quick, and that's going to put a few more bucks in everybody's pocket and lighten everybody up and chill out and Thanksgiving and Christmas and yay. But it's working slowly.
Yeah.
It's working.
All right, that's your happiness, Terry.
I think it can. I mean, I actually, honestly, I struggle with some of the stuff that I've been through, and I'm like, all right. I just, what I think we need to just remember, I need to be more grateful. I'm still alive, man. I got guys not coming back from the war. I could, but people, we suck. We forget, right? So like there'll be days I'm like, I'm like, dude, you're alive. Be happy.
Yeah, 90% of me is doing. I
know.
I forget everything.
That's
Kat.
why we're friends, Greg.
I know. To remind me what a jerk I am. Kat?
Yeah, I think happiness comes from within. Because my life is pretty nice.
Yeah.
But I'm still like a little sad all the time.
Yes.
You know?
So it's why? Because inside you're a little sad?
Because inside there's something dying, I think. I don't know. Like spiritually.
Yeah. No,
No one knows what I mean.
If it's not alive, it can't die.
Oh, that's true.
Yes. Tyrus?
I'm selfish. Like, whenever I'm feeling down, I'll just look at short people and be like, hell yeah. or I'll go in the weight room. And throw some weight around. And what really makes me happy is when guys walk by, kind of like you, and they do this. They always do. I'm like, why does he do that? It's like
blow it up on you.
But it's defensive. Like, Jesus. Don't eat me. I really love being a monster. And when I'm feeling down and blue, I just look at a little Greg and be like, that could be me. I literally could be like, honey, can you get that for me? I don't have, that's such a happy thing to be the guy in the supermarket that if somebody's in trouble, yes, ma'am, I can. That is a wonderful, wonderful feeling.
All right, wait a second.
What about you?
Yeah.
What about you, Gutfeld?
When I'm in the supermarket and that apple rolls down and rolls under, I can get under there and get it. You can't. Okay, if there is a fire...
This is what makes me happy.
If that's turning a frown upside down right now.
Yeah, if there's a fire, Tyrus,
he can't get me
I can crawl through the doggy door. You can't. And I've crawled through doggy doors.
The door in.
No, you can't.
Bet.
All right. Don't go anywhere. Final thoughts next.
Email Greg Tix at foxnews.com.
Finally, tonight, we'd like to thank our new sponsor who've created an amazing new product just in time for the holiday season. Take a look.
Tired of arguing with strangers online? Do you find yourself having to explain even the simplest expressions?
All I said was I didn't like Caddyshack. Now everyone on Twitter wants to pummel me with golf balls. Make it stop!
Now you can with Twittens, the hand protectors that keep you from tweeting.
These just look like oven mitts. What's so special about them?
Once you put them on, they never come off.
Wait, what?
Twittens feature patented fabric-to-skin fusion technology, so your hands slowly become actual mittens over time, making meaningless digital interaction impossible forever.
This is insane! How could you sell this?
Twitter arguments. I can't even open my phone.
Now I can fulfill my lifelong goal of identifying as a lobster.
Why are you two smiling? This is terrible!
Thanks, Twittens.
Somebody help me! How do I get these things off? Where am I?
So get your Twittens today. Side effects include development of a social life, calling your parents, learning to cook, reading books, getting exercise, sightseeing, picking up new hobbies, cleaning your room, walking the dog, and noticing people around you.
All right. Now, before we say goodbye, Steven has an excellent new TV show. I want to show a clip of this.
With all the drama happening